Hi, welcome. My name is Shelley. I'm one of the nutrition providers here at Vitality Health Matrix. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about digestive enzymes. So digestive enzymes are like a little bit of a superpower that we can hand you if you are struggling with gas, bloating, indigestion, even reflux, or just feeling that like constant feeling of fullness, but not you, that it doesn't make sense. Like maybe you're full, but you don't feel like you've eaten recently enough or substantially enough to warrant that kind of fullness. Those are all signs that your body might need a little bit of support with some digestive enzymes. So we have a product called Vital Enzymes that is a really great product. It's based on a lot of the research out there around the most impactful things that we can use for our digestion. It's got betaine HCl, which is going to help kickstart stomach acid, which helps to improve, which helps to naturally kickstart the enzymatic process. We have enzymes that need to be active in our stomach, along our GI lining. We actually have enzymes that need to be active all throughout our body, our liver, lower intestine, small intestine, even the gallbladder and the pancreas all have different enzymes in them that need to be abundant in order for these organs to be able to do the work of digesting, processing, absorbing, and utilizing the nutrients that we take in. And a lot of people probably have sluggish stomach acid and sluggish enzymes because enzymes can be massively impacted by things like stress, illness, medication, even aging. All of those things can really impact how efficient we are at making and producing enzymes and stomach acid. Now, don't worry if you are thinking, oh, stomach acid, I can't take something that's going to increase my stomach acid. Now, if you've been actually diagnosed with Barrett's or something where you do actually overproduce stomach acid, that's a different story. But most people who struggle with indigestion, we have really good research now that points that it's probably not because of an overproduction of acid. It's probably because of an underproduction of stomach acid and an underproduction of enzymatic function. And so we'll be sitting down to eat something or put something in our mouth and our body isn't ready for it because we have really low stomach acid production. And so we eat that food, it ends up in our gut, in our stomach, and then the stomach acid tries to get going at that point. And if your stomach is full of food, think of it as a cold pot, right? And we've thrown a bunch of things in that pot and expecting it to cook. It's the stove is going to have to turn the heat up really high in order to bring those things into a temperature that is processable for them. And that's kind of what happens with the stomach acid is all of a sudden the body's trying to produce stomach acid on top of a full tummy. And so then of course we get the reflux, and we get some acid reflux coming up, not because the body is overproducing acid, it's because it underproduced it and now it can't quite get it in there. And so there's some weakness in the muscles, weakness in the tissues, and some struggle all around for the body to get things going. And so if we can have you take something like a digestive enzyme before you eat, even if it's just a few minutes before you eat, it can make a really big impact as to how well your body is prepared to accept that food and how well it digests it. We do know this, especially if you're taking a GLP-1 like semaglutide or tirzepatide, those injections, that one of the things it does is it slows down motility. And this isn't necessarily going to counteract that to the point where it's going to reverse the impact that it has, but it can help to lessen the severity of the symptoms if those symptoms are troubling for you. If they're causing you to feel full, if they're causing a lot of burping or reflux or those types of things. So what are we going to look for in these enzymes? And let's go through what's in Vital Enzymes. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see the Vital Enzyme product, and let's talk through what's in there. Okay, there we are. There's our Vital Enzymes. I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a tiny bit on the ingredients so you can see them. You can see that, so one of the first things we want to make sure we've got in here is something that's going to help stimulate a little bit of stomach acid, because stomach acid is going to help stimulate the natural production of enzymes. And so this HCl does that. It helps to gently increase our stomach acid production, which helps to break down foods right off the bat. And then you're going to see this, and so this is phase 1 digestion is what we want to be looking at. There's other types of HCLs that you'll see out there. Fennel can help with calming and soothing the gut. It also has some what we call in herbal medicine downward energy, so it helps to move things along, helps to improve digestion. Dandelion also has some what we call downward energy. It's very soothing, and it's also very nourishing, so it's a great one to have on hand as well. And then ginseng is a root. It's kind of cold, so it's going to help with inflammation. And again, another one that's got a little bit of downward energy that helps to improve motility and help soothe that GI lining if it's on fire. You know, that kind of sense of like, oh, things are kind of burning and uncomfortable. Ginseng is one that can really help with that. And then we've also got these 3 enzymes. They are porcine based, so pork based in our particular products, and because that's where the research shows that they're big, where we get some of the most effective ones. So we have protease, amylase, lipase, and then we've got pepsin, and pepsin also helps to increase your ability to break down foods. So it's a wonderful addition and something that we want to look for if you're looking for a really good enzymatic product. Protease, amylase, and lipase help to break down protein, fat, protein, carbohydrates, different sugars, and milk. So if you are lactose intolerant or just mildly lactose intolerant, lipase can really help. Protease and amylase can help with carbohydrates and proteins and those types of things and make them easier to digest. And then we want to look at things like L-taurine. A lot of us are low in L-taurine, and that really helps with the digestive process. And then there's this little one called ox bile. Ox biles may sound a little bit scary. The ox bile is like a superpower if you have a really hard time digesting fats. If you have gallbladder surgery, or if you've had gallbladder issues in the past, ox bile can be so helpful to get that gallbladder. Even if you don't have a gallbladder, it can help to improve your ability to metabolize fats. And so that's why we have it in there, because a lot of people, when they join our program, begin to eat a diet that is definitely higher in protein, has lots of good, wonderful, high fiber carbohydrates in it, and also has some good healthy fats. And if you have not been used to eating the high fiber, healthy fat, high protein diet in the way that we are teaching it, it can be a little bit of uncomfortable. And especially when we add in some things that slow down motility by design to help you lose weight. And we add in these digestive enzymes, and it can really help and helps improve energy, because you are increasing your ability to absorb nutrients from your food and break them down. It can reduce bloating and gas and help improve motility, so helping the bowel to move more smoothly. And then it also can help you with weight management, because it really helps to soothe that digestive system, so you can tell when you're actually full. And it can actually help you eat more regularly, so that you don't get into that boomerang kind of situation where you're like, oh, I was so full, and then all of a sudden I was so hungry. And it just helps things to move more gently through your system, which helps all of it. And allows those of you who are not used to eating a higher amount of protein, it can also help with that, so that your body becomes used to digesting that higher amount of protein. And utilize it, right? Because we want that protein broken down into amino acids, because amino acids build every hormone in our body, repair every tissue. They are the building blocks for muscle, for bone, for everything, basically. And so we need to make sure that our body can break down that protein source into amino acids, so that we've got it to utilize for the things that we need to keep us running. And the best practice, so as far as where the research shows, and best practice of utilizing enzymes, is to take them prior to a meal. Do you have to be taking them everywhere you go all the time? Absolutely not. If you have a pretty reactive digestive tract, you absolutely can take them before every meal, if that helps you to be able to get smoother digestion and calm down that digestive process. What I generally recommend is for those who find that they have certain things that they know are going to set them off, or they're just starting a new way of eating and they're worried because they've had problems with digestion in the past, to take these enzymes 2 to 3 times a day, just to start with, to help calm and support the digestive system as you're making these changes, and then begin to peel them back slowly, so that you're only using them when you need them. Maybe you only need them in the morning to get started, because your tummy's kind of sluggish and cold and struggling to get moving, and you don't have much of an appetite. Or maybe you need them at night, because you tend to have a little bit heavier meal. Or you are adding more protein at one point of the day, or you're trying to add in other, higher fiber and that kind of stuff, and you tend to have more digestive symptoms at night. Then I would make sure that you're getting this on a nightly basis before a meal. Now, if you forget and you begin to experience indigestion, digestive discomfort, those types of things, it can still be helpful. I don't want you to think that you can't use these after a meal. You absolutely can. You're just going to find that they are going to be more effective. You're getting more benefits from them and have an easier transition into changing your diet or improving your digestion if you can take them ahead of time. But it works. I've done it both ways myself. I always have these on hand at my house for myself and my children, and my husband. But he has rock solid digestion, so he doesn't take them very often. But my kids and I definitely need them. So if you've got any other questions on digestive enzymes, how you can use them, if they're appropriate for you, please reach out to your nutrition provider or your medical provider, and let's walk you through it, because these can often be game changers for people who are really struggling with digestive issues early on in the program or at any point. So until next time, be well. Thanks for joining me.